This is the first of two videos for this week. This first part is going to discuss how to approach the annotated bibliography assignment. We're also going to talk a little bit about summarizing and documenting your sources. Part two is going to be more concerned with the actual ins and outs of documentation. So I hope you'll find this short introduction to the annotated bibliography assignment helpful to you. Here's some steps in this process. The first is to think of a topic that intrigues you, something that's contestable, something you might be interested in. Remember that the topic for the annotated bibliography assignment is going to be the topic for your argument paper. So this is not a one-off or a fire and forget assignment. It's an assignment that you're going to be coming back to over and over. The more research work you do for this, the easier your argument paper is going to be. But for picking a topic, you can get some advice through Blackboard on the library website. There's a section on topic picking. There's some more information within the assignment sheet. But you're smart people, you're college students, you know how to do this already. So you should find something you're interested in, find something you've always been curious about, maybe something you don't know the answer to, and then do some preliminary research. Ask people, check Wikipedia, look on Google, look around for kind of what other people might be saying or aspects of the issue that maybe you haven't thought about, and then see what happens. Once you pick a topic, then you can start using the various library tools. And I've listed some of them here. The databases, we'll be spending a lot of time in there. You can use a book from the library if that's physically convenient for you, or you can use your local library if you're far away from the community college. You can use the Ask a Librarian feature that's in our library website. I'll show you that eventually. To get in touch with our reference librarians, you can call them, you can email them, you can even do chat with them when the library's open. And so you might want to check those places out. And then don't underestimate what you're going to find online. We'll be talking, actually one of the one of the videos that's embedded in our course will explain some aspects of doing web searches to help you do better web searching. The annotated bibliography assignment is simply a gathering of information. It asks you to find a total of 7 sources of 3 different types: 5 articles, 1 respectable website, and 1 other. In the terms of the 5 articles, these are articles from our various databases. 3 of these 5 articles need to be from what are called academic or peer-reviewed journals. These are written by experts for other experts in the field. The summary assignment that you did was to summarize an academic journal article, and that's designed to give you kind of a flavor for what these might look like. Some of these are very complicated, some of them are more straightforward. You're not the target audience, but it's the kind of source that gives you information that you might find far more useful than you might find just with some general Google searching. The other 2 of the 5 articles could be from magazines or newspapers or from some of our specialized databases, like the Association for Computing Machinery database, which is articles and presentations and conference papers on various aspects of computers. It's one of my favorite databases. And then the last 2 categories, the respectable website could be a public policy group. It could be somebody who's got an issue, the Cato Institute, which is where one of our other exercise websites comes from. It could be something like PETA, which is not my favorite website, but they're an interesting group, and their reviews are always interesting on animal cruelty. It could be an organization like the American Cancer Society or the American Academy of Plastic Surgeons, depending on what your topic is. There's a number of different kinds of organizations that fall into this category. And then the last is an other. This could be a book, it could be an interview with an expert that you found, it could be poll data that you found online, it could be any number of things. It even could be something like a video game if you're writing about video games and violence, or video games and gender issues, or if you're writing on body image and women and how media affects that. It could be a site that is an example of one of those types of places where gender issues or body image become really important. So these are the 7 sources that you're going to need to find to complete the annotated bibliography form. When we come to library databases, This is the area that you'll probably be spending most of your time in. A database is simply a collection of articles, and we have 160 to 200 different databases. Some are image databases, some are video databases, some are very specialized databases in business or computing or health or law or government. And we have some generalized databases, things like Academic Search Elite, Academic OneFile, that you might find useful as well. And how you get to these is to follow the instructions here. Go to the libraries on the STLCC homepage, choose the databases, choose an individual database. If you're off campus, you'll be required to log in with your A number and last name. Remember to put the letters ST at the end of your A number. The form will tell you that when you're requested to do that. And then when you get into the database, click these buttons. Click full text and then click academic, scholarly, or peer reviewed. It varies from database to database. And then you can also look at the citations that are built into it as well. I'll show you how to do this in just a sec. One of the things to think about in finding your 5 articles is that there's a difference between an academic journal and a magazine. And here I've got a few examples. You've got some pictures up here on the top of Time, Vanity Fair, and New York, all concerned with issues of transgender. Magazines are designed for general readers, people like you and me, people who aren't experts in a particular discipline, who aren't academics or scholars or physicians or bankers or whatever particular profession reads this kind of a journal. On the bottom here, you can see some different journal types. These are two academic journals that have to do with transgenderism. And these are folks who look at the physiological aspects, the psychological, the sociological, the economic aspects of this. And they do it in much more detail, much more comprehensively than the kinds of general interest publications that you see up here. They're written by experts, as I said, for other experts, and that can be problematic for you as a reader because you're going to find yourself thinking, this is over my head. And all I'm really going to tell you is to read something more than once and you'll be just fine. They're documented, by the way, exactly the same. Another place you can go for help to figure out what exactly it is you're looking at is the genre of arguments table over in chapter 2 of our textbook. Show you how to get to the library website using our college website. Here we are at stlcc.edu. You click on current students and you go look over on the left hand side here and you will see a place that says libraries. Click on that, and to get to the article databases you simply click on this link, and here's where you'll normally be asked to put in your A number. Academic OneFile is a generalized kind of database. Let's see if it asks me for my number. Okay, I think because I've already logged into this once today, it's not asking me for that. But you'll see a screen that says, please put your A number and the letters ST after it, and then below that, put your last name. Well, let's look for a topic. I'll just pick body image and media. Okay. And we'll just do a real simple basic search. And then in this database, it already divides it out for you by magazines, academic journals, books, news, and videos. Where we want to start is with academic journals. Okay, so now we're looking at only academic journals. We also want to limit it to full text, and we want to limit it to peer-reviewed journals. And then we can start looking through here and seeing what we find. Okay, here's an article about body image, eating attitudes, body mass index, and physical activity, but it's with South Africans. So chances are we're going to be more interested in finding things that have to do with Americans. Okay, here's one that might intrigue you. NCAA Division II female student athlete perceptions of their sport uniforms and body image. And we can find a PDF of the article. We can save it. We've got a lot of information here that we can use for documenting it. If we click on this link, it'll take us to the full text of the article, and you can see some helpful things over here. On the right hand side is the citation tools box, so we can go say, oh, MLA 8th edition, and then we can just copy and paste that. You can listen to the article, you can read the abstract and then read the full text. If you go back to the first screen, you can download a PDF, which will show you what the article looked like when it was actually published in print. This may take a minute because my computer is old and cranky. As you can see over here on the left, you can print articles out, you can email them, you can download them. And what I usually do is download them to a flash drive or onto my computer and then take them home. So this gives you the authors, it tells you the when this article was published, we already know that. And this is the abstract of it, and then here is the article as a whole. Okay, so this is the kind of thing that a database does for you. Imagine having access to some hundreds of thousands of magazines and journals and other kinds of sources or information with literally millions of articles. I think Academic OneFile has close to 30 million articles on it, so it's pretty extensive. And if you add in the other databases that we have, ABI Inform Global, which is a business one, Academic Search Elite, which is very similar to Academic OneFile, you're going to find all kinds of articles that you would never think about when you were looking for information just on your own. 99% of what you find in these databases is not available through a Google search. This is stuff that is proprietary. The vendors pay for this, and then they sell the service to us so that we can give it to you. So the bottom line is most of the information in our databases is stuff you're not going to find online. Just to go back to the main library page again where we started, where we clicked on this link, notice over here on the left where it says Ask a Librarian. If you click on that, you can email them, you can chat when the library is open, you can text them, or you can visit or call. It may be the case that if you're far away from the library, the simplest thing to do is to email them. You can tell them you're in my class, tell them what your topic is, tell them what your problem is, and they'll be glad to help you. You may want to give them a phone number, so in case they have to ask you some more questions, they can do that. But this is one of the nicer features that our librarians offer you, and you should take advantage of it. So after you've found each source, what do? You do a summary and evaluation for each, and the summary should be about 250 words. The idea there is to make it as useful to you for your paper as possible. If you do a good job on your summaries, you can copy and paste sentences from them into your argument paper. Again, the purpose of the bibliography is this is your research for your argument paper, and the whole point of this assignment is to have enough stuff to make your case. It also helps develop your ideas by reading other people's ideas, making sure you're in full possession of the facts, and making yourself ready to join the conversation. To complete the bibliography, just simply complete the form that's posted to Blackboard. Write your own summaries, use the citation from the database if you think it's correct, or you can use the citation generator that are built into Blackboard, like Noodle Tools, or Pearson Writer has a citation generator in it. If you are concerned that the library database citations are not accurate, check them against the handouts from the Writing Center and Blackboard. The last so after you get all 7 sources done, there's one last paragraph, and it says, where are you in your research and what help can I give you? Please remember to complete that. About a quarter of my students in the past don't tend to do that, and it's sad because I can usually offer them some help that they might not otherwise get. I've also put some sample annotated bibliographies on our Blackboard site that have been done by students in previous classes, so you can get an idea of what these things look like. And don't be afraid to email me if you have questions. In terms of documentation advice, I think you should document everything that you find. When you're in the databases, even if you're not sure you're going to use the article, go ahead and download the citation and copy and paste it into a Word or a Google Docs file so you have a list of it. When I was in college, I always used to do the documentation at the end, and I could normally not find my sources half the time. And that was back in the days when everything was on paper. Now, of course, it's easier to find stuff again, but if you go ahead and just copy and paste the citation and you download the source, then you'll find the documentation process a lot easier when you start putting your paper together. Okay, we'll go on to part 2 next.